Hey guys, DemonDriver here. You guys are in for a treat. This is the second Emirates 777-9X build video in a row. And in this video, this is very important. This might be the most important build video yet in the 9X series Emirates. We're taking the Emirates wing box, central wing box, all styrofoam, and we're going to link the right, or the left and right wing. Here's the right wing. And we're going to, in this video, we're going to link the wings into the central wing box. That's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to make the right and left wings all one piece. So that's a very important step. And we're doing that right now in this video, okay? So thank you for joining me. Let's get down to building. Okay, one of the things I need to do is I need to make the Emirates wing box and wings look identical to the Lufthansa's 9X's wings and wing box, because it's basically it's the same. It's a 9X just like the Lufthansa. So the Emirates 9X needs to be an exact carbon copy of this. Okay, these are the wings to the Lufthansa 9X, and in order to prevent hanger rash, I put foam on the wingtips. That's a good idea to do when you want to protect your plane when you're moving her around. So one of the important things is I need to exactly copy, when this is assembled for the Emirates 9X, it needs to be identical to the 8X. So I'm going to use the 8X to basically as a carbon copy and get exact measurements off of what I have. So basically I'm going to use the Lufthansa 9X's wingspan, wings and wing box and everything as an exact carbon copy of what the Emirates 9X wings are going to be. It's going to be identical to that. So I'm going to take measurements off of this and run through it and make sure everything lines up so that when the Emirates 9X wing section and fuse comes together, it's that. So I'll have two of that. Okay? Okay, what you're looking at here obviously is the wing box. And I got two measurements off the Lufthansa wing box that I needed that were very important. And that's the wing baseline for the main wing, and then where the trailing edge of the wing starts, so that when I line the Emirates wing up with the fuse box, this line, the baseline here, rides on that line, right? And that mark there is where the trailing edge of the wing ends, right? So I know how to line it up. Another important, that line is also important for lining up where the lower half of the wing goes. You understand? It's getting a little windy here. But the lower half of the wing fits in there like that. So the lower half, see, here's the lower half of the wing. The lower half sandwiches to the bottom of the upper half, like so, and thus giving us a semi-symmetrical airfoil out to the engine. So the baseline that you see is how the wing rides into the wing box, and I know how to line it all up so it fits together perfectly, so that the wings are at the proper level on the fuselage and on the wing box. You understand? Okay, so let me explain to you now what's going on here. So here's the Emirates wing box for the 777-9X. It's going that way. So I've done is, here's the baseline for the main wing that it rides on. And I've marked out three sections here, three little black areas. And that's where these carbon fiber rods will fit in. They'll fit in through those holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out these holes straight through like that, so that the carbon fiber rods come through, and on both wings they come through and they meet in the middle like this right here, like the Lufthansa. They come in, they meet in the middle, and then they're bridged together with more carbon fiber pieces. It sandwiches in and connects it all into one piece. So I'm also going to put some pieces of aluminum, little aluminum tabs right here below each hole So when the carbon fiber rod of the main wing comes through, it can't sink down and push into the soft styrofoam. Okay? Alright, so that's what I'm going to do next. And while I'm doing, every time, it's funny, I turn the camera on and I do this, the wind kicks up, so I don't know what's going on. So let me make sure everything doesn't blow away here. And see, then it dies down. And then I'll do this and then it kicks back up. I don't know what's going on. I've got the right wing in the position, excuse me, left wing. I'm going to do the same thing. I line up the trailing edge with the line here, and then I mark off where the carbon fiber rods, which way they're going as they poke through, as they go through the side of the wing box and then meet up with everything. So the whole thing is about lining everything up, getting the proper angle of attack, angle of incidence, and the angle of the dihedral. It's all important. Every single measurement is important, and if you get it wrong, your plane is going to be wrong. So it's key that you get that right. Very important. Okay, for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill out these holes where the rods are going to go through, and all I got to do is just use this drill, and it's light styrofoam, so I really don't have to worry using a hot knife or a hot wire is kind of counterproductive by doing this. It's you know, I'm only cutting for about 1.5 inches of styrofoam, so I can just drill right through. And these will be the holes where the carbon fiber rods of the main rods of the wings are going to go right through those black holes that I marked off. So that's basically what we're going to do right about now. Turn this on its side. The only downside is you get the popcorn of the styrofoam granulated and it flies all over the place. That's the only downside. So that's where the hot wire comes in handy. But for now, I really don't need it. Okay, now I'm going to do something called finessing the wing. And this is where I start to line up the carbon fiber rods with the holes, and to kind of get an idea of what I'm going to have to do extra to finesse the wing into the slots. You understand what I'm saying? Front, mid, and then the rear. Okay, so with the rear slot, I've got a gap to where the carbon fiber rod meets the hole, and that's just all about angles. So what I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to have to open that hole up wider so I can bring the carbon fiber rod in and through the side of the wing box. Understand? So front, mid, fit in fine. But the second one, because of angles, doesn't line up with the hole, so I have to make the hole a little wider in the back to bring it up and through. Now, if you can understand that in English, what I just said, you're running on all cylinders right now if you just understand what I just said. Okay, well now with that modification, where I opened up that back hole for the carbon fiber rod, I come in, first rod, second rod, and the third rod fits in perfectly. Goes in right in where it's supposed to be. And everything pretty much lines up. See that? Look at that. And there you go. And that's how it's going to fit. And that's how the wing section fits into the wing box. The rods go through the hole, they fit in, and then the left one's put in, and then they meet up in the middle, and a carbon fiber truss comes down and joins the two sections together into one solid, strong structure. That's how it's done. It's that simple. Maybe not, it might not be simple to you, but it's pretty straightforward to me. But I've been doing this for 36 years, so who knows? But it'll be pretty straightforward for you too as time goes on and you get the hang of it. It fits into the holes, and that's exactly where it's supposed to be. Now the slight difference between this and the Lufthansa 9X is the wing box is shorter. It's not as high because the fuselage baseline is lower, actually scaled to where it is on the 9X, the fuselage cabin floor. On the Lufthansa 9X, it's higher mid-fuselage. Because this plane is going to have an interior, the actual fuselage has to actually be down further. So the wings stick up a bit higher. If that makes any sense to you at all. If it does, again, you're running on all cylinders. Because a lot of the times, man, a lot of the stuff I'll explain, people just do not get it. They're like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, okay, whatever you said, Chris. So that fits in perfectly. So now we're going to just add in our pieces of aluminum to prevent the wings from dropping down through the styrofoam as they're being fitted. Because that's styrofoam, and it's strong, but I mean it needs rigidity, and that's brought in with carbon fiber rods and things like that. But it's structure, but then it needs to be strengthened, and the aluminum little pieces that I'm going to put in is some of that structure. So that's next. Now what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start adding the pieces of aluminum here to the underside. Underside of the line here, so that when the wings are attached, there's no way they can drop down past the line. If that makes any sense to you, it's kind of keeps them where I want them to be. Put a little piece of tape over each piece as the epoxy sets, and that way it stays in place as the epoxy sets. There are all these little stray cats that live around here, and they're always running around, jumping around. So sometimes I'll hear a noise behind me. It's one of those little stray cats. And I do it on the other side. Okay, now we're on to the second phase, and with the second phase what we're going to do is we got the plans, hand-drawn plans of the 777-9X down on the ground, down on the floor of this, what I call the assembly studio, or the assembly unit, and this is where I put the pieces together, wing belly, right, left wings. I see a lot of people ask me, hey Chris, why don't you give out free plans online? These are the plans. I draw them out by hand, full scale. So there really are no plans I blow these plans up by hand from the actual 777-9X plans, and then I draw them out and draft them out by hand. So the plans that are online right now are plans that you can get. That's what I use to blow these up by hand. So when people complain, you know, there really is no way for me to, I would have to make a facsimile copy, direct by hand, a copy of these to make a copy. So that's kind of how that would be done. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the pieces down over the plans and then put speed squares and things like that into position to map out exactly where everything is supposed to go in relations to the 777-9X wing section and her wing box. So that's what I'm going to do now. Assembling everything and putting it all together. So the first thing I take, obviously, is the Emirates Wing Box, the central wing box for the 9X. Place it down like so. And now it's important that I line everything up. Get everything lined up. And that is that's important. That's crucial. Got to get it all lined up. Now I take the Emirates Wing Box, place it down into position on the plans. And then after that, then I bring the wings in. See, I line up everything on the plans, and I use these various speed squares to basically get everything into position, to get everything lined up, and then get everything where it needs to be. And then once that happens, I weigh everything down and then attach in the right and left wing, put them in. Okay, now that the wing box is in position, it's exactly where it needs to be. I take these bigger speed squares, and the other thing is I take my shoes off. That way I can't tear the plans with my shoes, because you can snag it and tear your plans. So I start to put these bigger speed squares at a very key position. This is where the leading edge of the wings is going to be. And I have these 5-pound weights. And these come in handy with weighing things down if you don't want stuff sliding around and moving. You can position stuff so that it won't move. Because I don't want these speed squares to move. I want them to stay exactly where they are. So now that I've done that, and I have everything where I want it to be, and I've weighted down the wing box with weight. There's weights in there now. I start to place these speed squares along where the wings are going to be. Now what I do is I bring in the right and left wings, and I slowly fit them into position. Now I'm going to go ahead and move these speed squares out of the way so I can go ahead and do that. Come on this side first. Straight on through, just like that. Perfect. Good. Just hold this up for 1 second. Now, something that I use for doing this are what I call dihedral spacers. Now, what these dihedral spacers do is they fit out at the wingtips, and what these then do is, see, I'll show you. So I've got one right, one left. These fit at this stage here, underneath the wing, at this stage. And these are what determine the dihedral of the main wing, so that I get the correct dihedral. So when you have the correct dihedral, you need those spacers are what do that for you. Then what I do is I come in with the right wing, do exactly what I did before with the left wing. Use the right wing. And you start to get an idea how big this thing is once you start to assemble it. The dihedral piece, and that fits just like that. And there we are. We have the proper dihedral. And then I come in and I use these speed squares to line the wing up properly with the plans so that the angle of attack, the wing sweep, is proper and the dihedral is correct. Okay, we now have everything set up. The wings have been attached right and left. They've been epoxied. We have two 5-pound weights weighing the trailing edge of the wings down as the carbon fiber rods sit on their aluminum pieces in the wing box. We have the dihedral pieces right and left set. We have the speed squares set. So the wing is exactly where it needs to be, and it's perfect. It's exactly what I want. And that's just, I've epoxied everything, and we're just going to let that set for a little while. And then the next step is I'm going to fit the bridge pieces down into position. 3 carbon fiber bridge pieces that are going to trusses that are going to fit down and join the right and left pieces together. Here, let me go ahead and show you kind of up close and personal. We got the center section here, and it's weighed down into position. 2 weights. That's about a 10-pound weight, 2 5-pounds, and then there you are. And then you see the carbon fiber rods sticking out. They need to be tied together. They need to be tied together and made as one. So there'll be carbon fiber cloth placed in little donuts here, and that's helping that area all fused together as one piece. Carbon fiber rod and styrofoam, and then we'll put the trusses into position. That's just a compressor going off right now. Okay, this is a big moment here. This is where the trusses fit into place, and let me try and explain the truss to you. This is the whole kit and caboodle. This is the whole meat of the coconut right here. This is a truss. It's a carbon fiber plate cut like that. And what it does is, here's your 2 rods. It fits into position like so, and it ties both rods together into a bridge, epoxy together with, and then I'll add carbon fiber cloth and make it all one piece, so that right and left wing are all one with the wing box. And here's the forward truss. That fits into position. That's the forward truss. And then the rear truss is a bit different because these 2 carbon fiber rods come straight through together. So the rear truss will fit like this. and then I'll probably drill straight holes through 4 holes and then actually bolt this third truss into position with the rods, so that it again becomes one piece with them. So that's what the trusses are. They're just a carbon fiber plate that fits down over top of the rods, joining them together into one strong, tough piece, making all the rods one continuous rod. So the rod from the right wing and the left wing come through, meet into position in the center part, and they are joined and fused. And then once the carbon fiber cloth is added and they're laminated with that and covered, you have a strong, tough carbon fiber structure that it's light, it's lightweight, and it's strong. And that's the key. And when this is all said and done, this whole structure is done, we'll weigh it and see how much this whole wing and wing box weighs for this 13-foot Emirates 777-9X. Okay, let me go ahead and move away all of the speed squares, because basically the epoxy is set, so she's good. I even added mock-up retractable, movable winglets, which is so customary to the 777X series. So, coming right now is the big moment. The moment of truth. Okay, I'm going to remove the weights off of here. Okay. I'm going to remove the dihedral templates off the ends of the wings. You're going to see some droopage, just a bit. Perfect. Minor. Very minor. On this wing, yep, a little bit of that's all. That's what it's supposed to do. Let's go ahead and take the weights out of the center section here. Moment of truth. Here we go. All one piece. Look at that. Hey, perfect. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Yeah. There we go. Emirates 777-9X wing. Ah, look at that beast. Okay, we got a scale right there. Let's go ahead and see how much this weighs. A little over 4 pounds. This whole wing weighs a little over 4 pounds. Are you kidding me? That whole thing. There you have it, guys. Emirates 777-9X wing section made. Huh? And you saw it happen. This is DemonDriver. Thank you for watching, guys. You take care. Bye-bye.